Yep, good morning everyone. So last session we learnt about the data types. In that we learnt how to define object and array of objects. So how do we configure object and array of objects? One example we learnt. Today we will see how to present such data. One example, let's see. So we have our application, web application, e-shopping, yes. So here we discussed how to design object, how do we put some logic and handle it. Now the main concept is presenting this data. We will see how we can access data from API. How do we access data from API and present it? How to handle that? Actually, what is API is nothing but later in backend you will learn about API detailing. As of now, API is just application interface. Generally, API allows two applications running on two different machines to share information. Two applications running on two different machines can share information. That is the concept of actually API. Generally, what does that means is, suppose we have one application will be, this is actually server side. Server side, one application will be running. And client side, we have another application. That means client side, another application will be running. Client side, another application is running. This server side, usually we will have some database and some data is present in the database. Generally, we have some database and this server side app is going to communicate with the database. It gets the data from the database. After that, it provides the data to client. So this data will be sent to client. You can even send data from client to server. Post, you can get, you can post. So how data is transferred from one app to another? This is transporting data from server app to client. Actually, for that, earlier we have to use lot of XML. Now we are using lot of JSON. Even today, several projects are using XML. So here we are using JSON. Everywhere in the modern, JSON is more effective now. So whatever data it collects from database, it converts the data into JSON. That JSON data we have to access and use. That means whose responsibility to convert data into JSON. That is what server side API will do. Server side, we will have an API which will communicate with the database, gets the data from database and returns in JSON form. Client side, we have to collect the data and present. It's a big architecture that later you will learn while learning server side. Now we are not creating API. Already, if APIs are present, how to use them, we will see. Creating our own API requires knowledge of Node.js, MongoDB and all that we are going to see after the front end. We will go into Node.js and MongoDB. Then we can create our own APIs. So how we can access data from a JSON and display. So for that, actually JavaScript, here I will give one more. Data is transported. So transported using three specifications actually. Specifications. One we call as SOAP, SOAP. This is service oriented architecture protocol. Another one is called REST. That is representational state transfer. Another one is JSON. That is JavaScript object notation. JavaScript object notation. Three types will be there: SOAP, REST and JSON. What is difference is actually in SOAP what happens, client will make XML request and server sends XML response. That means the request and response will be in which form? XML form. That is in SOAP. In REST, what happens is client sends a query request. Query request is a simple ID is equal to 10 like that. And server sends again XML response. You send a simple query and it will send a response in the form of XML. In a JSON, what happens is client sends a JSON response. Client sends JSON request and the server sends JSON response. That means request and response will be in which form? JSON. So we send JSON request, it will send JSON response. Now, in several technologies, sometimes still you have to work with SOAP, and majority of companies' projects are currently using REST. Now, recently, everyone is changing into JSON. Right? So, JavaScript, so JavaScript uses fetch API. JavaScript uses fetch API to fetch data from any API. To fetch data from any API, JavaScript have a separate concept called fetch API. Actually, we call it as fetch is a promise in JavaScript. Later, separate topic will come about promise. Actually, promise is very popular question in interviews. In JavaScript interviews, they will ask what promises you have learned in JavaScript. That means what is a promise? What promises you have learned in JavaScript? Promise is nothing but a promise returns situation wise data. If condition satisfied, it will do one work. If condition not satisfied, it will do another. Such promises we will create later. And fetch is a ready-made promise. That means, so it handles generally promise will handle a request and the returns response customized according to request. That means it will not send same response every time. Situation wise, it will change. That is what actually promise is. So how this fetch promise works, how to use it, we will see. So first, we will go into our project. In this project, we will add a new folder. I am adding a new folder by name data. We are adding a new folder by name data. Data is a new folder. In this data folder, I am adding a new file, products.json. Products.json is a JavaScript object notation. Now in this, we will put some array of objects. And we know the JSON rule. Name, it is a string type. Value can be anything. So we have a price. Price is a number type, some price. Currently we are having only two details. One is name and price. Later we can work other details also. Now suppose we have another object. In that we have again name, some Nike casuals, and we have price. We have some price. So this is some price. This is data. Like that, there can be several data. Now I want to access this data and present in the UI. So how we can do that? We are designing a page. I want to access the data and present. I will simply link relation style sheet, href node modules, and bootstrap dist css, bootstrap.css. I will use bootstrap. In that, we will put a class container fluid, and we will put a button fetch data and class btn primary, and below that we will put a table and class table hover. In that tr, so t head, in that tr and th name, another one is price, and t body, and here we want to get the data and display here. So when user clicks on the fetch data button, we need to collect the data coming from JSON file and present in this table. So data is in a separate file we have to access. This is fetch API. Okay. Now how to do that? On button click, on click is equal to fetch data. Okay, here we will write a script, function is fetch data. Now here we need to access the data coming from API, some JSON file. Then we have to use the method called fetch. Fetch method actually here, how it syntactically works. Fetch is expecting URL. URL is path from where data is coming, and it will use a callback function called then. Then uses a function. What this function will do, whatever response comes from this URL, it will collect. It will collect the response. Whatever response is coming from that particular URL, it will collect. But problem is, fetch problem is, it will collect the data from this URL in binary form. When it collects in binary form, then we have to convert this data. We have to convert the data into return response data into JSON. .json will convert the data into JSON. After converting and returning the JSON data, again then this will collect another function. What this will do is, this will get the final JSON data. That means any reference you can create. Remember, these names inside function, they are our own names. We can give any name. So first, when you make a request of any file, the data comes in binary form. So first then function will convert the data into JSON and return. That JSON data is collected by another then function. It will collect the data which is finally in JSON and it will use it. So here what you have to do, here you have to write logic for presenting data, whatever logic we want. So how it works, let's see now. We have to use fetch from where data is coming. Data is coming from products JSON file. So where it is present, // it is in a separate folder called data. In that the file is products.json. That is. You can write in next line directly then uses a function. Okay. This function collects the response. Whatever data is coming from this file, response will collect. But it is in binary form. Then we have to return response in which format? JSON. Then that JSON we have to collect again. Then we will use a function. In this we will collect the data. That means this JSON data is now present here. Now what data type? What is the data type? In this file, what type is present? This type is that. So in this file, what type is present? It is array na? It is array. So what is data now? Data is an array. Array of what? Array of objects. In that object, we have two properties, name and price. So we have to read every element in array. So for var product of data. You can also give like you know that products information is coming. Then we can say simply products. That means product of what? Products. Products. So we are reading every product. So every product is an object. That means every product is an object with the name and price. So we have to, what we have to do, create a row, because we need to add that product information in body. To add into table body, we have to first create a row. Document dot create element tr. Okay. Now in that we need two cells, one for name, another for price. So we have to create two cells where td name document dot create element, it is which type? td. Another td price, this is also document create element, it is also td only. Two cells, one cell for name, another cell for price. What to display in td name? td name dot inner html is equal to product dot name. Understood? Because product contains two properties, name and price. Similarly, td price dot inner html is equal to product dot price. Now these two cells must be added. These two cells must be added into row. That means tr dot append child. First td name, tr dot append child, second td price. Okay. Now add this row into table body. Document dot query selector. What is it? T body dot append child. Which one? tr. That's done. Now this all we are doing on button click. And you see, when I click the fetch data button, it should get the data and show. So the data is present in a JSON file. From there, the data is coming. So when I add one more record here, I'm adding one more record here. Suppose name is suppose watch, something like this. And we have like price is some price. So now you can see I click fetch, that also comes. So we are accessing data from a JSON and we are displaying. Presenting data is not just only in tabular form. So many dynamic presentations are required. For example, they say that I want in a card style. Every product information must be in a card style. You already know Bootstrap cards. So we have to design a card dynamically now. Remember, here you designed a table dynamically. That means you created rows, you created cells, you added them into table. Dynamically, we are designing table. These kind of tasks are regularly asked for freshers. They will give you some data and they will say that design and present in a table. And data will be so complicated also, so much complex. Not only table, they will ask different presentations. You know Bootstrap, then present in a card style. Let's see how. This is our general data. I will give this example first here. In this example, first what you have to do is add a new folder into project and by name, the folder name is data. Then add a new file into data folder. So, and its name is products.json. In that, you need to put some data. I will copy this. That is the data. You have to keep in that file. Next, so present in HTML. That is simple. We are using this page. I will copy this. This is presenting in HTML. How we can access the data and how we can present the data. Now let's see some complex data coming from real-time APIs. Actually, we will see another example here. That means you should know different ways of presentation. That means now see how to present the data. I will show here. How do we present NASA API? Actually, we have separate website for APIs. NASA provides this website, api.nasa.gov. This is NASA official API website. This is the official NASA API website. You observe here in this. So scroll down. Here you will see there is a separate menu, browse APIs. You click on browse APIs. You see these are all APIs available. In that I am selecting some Mars rover photos. And these are Mars rover photos. And scroll down, they will give you an URL here. This is URL. And click that URL gives all this data. Now we need to present this data. Copy that URL. You have to copy that URL. So this is the URL for Mars rover photos. This is the URL. They are providing data here. This data we can consume and present. But first you need to understand what type of data it is. You see, data type is what we have object type. In this object, there is a property called photos. Photos is again what type? Array type. So in that array again objects. So it is not directly array. First it is an object. In that object there is a property called photos, which is array. Okay, and in that again every object have ID, sol, camera. And you can see camera is again object. Camera is again object type. Camera ID, camera name, rover ID, full name. Now what we need to do, it's image source, image underscore source. Now what we have to do is, we have to present this data. Let's do that. So we will create a new file. So NASA API.html. Let's design here. And I will put a title, say NASA API. And we will link relation, style sheet, and href node modules, bootstrap, dist css, bootstrap.css. Now here container, fluid, and here I will put a heading NASA API, or say Mars rover photos. Okay. And here I am giving a button. So class BTN primary. So here load. That is the button I am giving. Load Mars rover photos. That is. And when I click on this load, I need to get. But and display in a table. Let's create a table here. Table and table hover. In the T head, in the TR, TH. What you want to display? Actually, this NASA API is having a lot of data. We don't want everything. We will present ID. So first heading is what? Photo ID. Okay. Second, we will print camera full name. Camera have a property called full name. So we will give camera name. Okay. Next, we will print the photo image source. So we will put a heading called preview. Preview is the photo. Next, we will print earth date is there. Rover we will use. Because we haven't learned about dates. We will learn about date later. Next. Then we can handle dates. So rover is again object. So in that we have rover name. Okay. So we will say rover name. These details we want. That means we don't want all details. We want only these details. And the T body we will create, and that is what we want to display. So how do we get that and display? See, first on load button click. So we are using on click. Load click. Okay. Let's write the script. In that function, load click. On load click, fetch. Fetch from where? The URL. So this is their URL. Copy that URL and paste it there. This is the API URL. Okay. Dot then. First callback function. Here, what is it? Response. What we have to do? Return response in which form? JSON form. After that, then we have another function. What is it? Data. Okay. Now this data, what type it is? What type data it is? You saw NASA API. So data is not array every time. So previously in our JSON file it is array, so it is array. And in this URL, what is present? What it is returning? Array? It is not returning array. It is returning what? Object. So data is object. So in that object data, you can see this is the object. Na? In that, what is the property? Photos. Photos is array. In that, all photos are present. That means we have to define data. Now here we have to write logic for where item of collection. Collection is not data. In data, there is a property called photos. Dot photos. Data is an object. In that, a photos property is present. Data dot what? Photos. This photos is an array. So you can perform iteration. You cannot perform iteration on data because it is an object. In that object, photos. Now, every item, so we can print here. We have to create a row. Document dot create element. What is it? TR. How many cells we need? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 cells we need. Where TD ID. Document dot create element TD. Second one, TD. What is it? Camera name, right? Camera is equal to document dot create element. It is also TD. Another one, TD photo. Okay. Document dot create element TD. Another one is TD rover. Document dot create element TD. All the cells are created. Now what should display in first cell? TD ID dot inner HTML. It should display item dot ID. That is how we have to use. Item is nothing but every photo, every object. And see, you have to give exactly the same ID. Means capitalization, everything matters. So ID. Okay. Next what? TD camera. TD camera dot inner HTML. How to get the camera name? Item dot camera is an object. In that, full underscore name that gets the camera name. You see, here we have camera. Camera is an object. In that camera object, you can see this is camera object. In that object, there is a property called full name. You can see there is full name property here. Full underscore name that returns the camera name. Okay, what is next? Next is TD photo. Now, inner HTML, inside we need to add a photo. There are several steps here. So the steps are, first we have to create a photo. So into this, we are not adding normal text. Photo must be added. So first we have to create an image. Document dot create element img. That image will have src is equal to, what is it? Item dot image underscore src. Observe carefully. Item have image src, img src, img underscore src. What is it? It is going to return that image path. And image will have width is equal to 100. Image height is equal to 100. Okay. Now here, one more point is image ready. This image must be added into TD photo. That means TD photo dot append child img. In other cells we have text, and in photo cell we need a photo. First we have to create a photo and then add the photo. Okay, one more. TD rover. Rover is ordinary text. Inner HTML. Inner HTML is equal to, what is it? Item dot rover dot name. You see, there is a rover object also. It have name. That is rover name. Okay. All cells are ready. Now add all cells into row. Tr dot append child. First td id. Tr dot append child. Second td camera. Okay. Third tr dot append child. Td photo. After that tr dot append child. Another one is td rower. Now row is ready. Add this row into table body. That means t body document dot query selector. What is it? T body dot append child. Which one? tr. That is ready. Now when I click on this load button, it should get all the data and display here, and it is loading. That means the photo ID, the name, and the preview. And these are all the photos of Mars rover photos. We are accessing all the data from this particular API. Data will be in this format, but we are presenting in this format. Here we can do a lot of things. Suppose I want this clickable, picture clickable. When I click, it should open separate window and there it should display. Then lot of work we can do here. What we have to do, this image must be clickable. Must be clickable. So see, here we are writing like this in this. We need this photo. Photo is added. It should be added like a link so that you can click on it and it can open. So another technique is that, see, first I will copy this and I will paste it here. This is example. Now, many times you may have doubt like this logic is very lengthy. Is there any shortcut? This is the best possible shortcut. Right? So there is no other shortcut for this. Other shortcut is we can use jQuery. jQuery little bit reduces, but concept will be same. So, and even you can do fast, simple in jQuery. Interviews, they will test JavaScript because they want to understand how much logically you are perfect. And remember, in interviews, these kind of tasks only given. Any full stack developer interviews practical exam, task will be this type only. 100 to 100%. Right? That means they will give one API. They will give some screen designs. They will say that design these screens by using this API data. You have to do that. Yeah, 100%. If you don't practice this, forget about interviews. You can't handle any full stack interview. You have to practice these API interactions very perfectly. You need to able to present in so many ways. For example, see here how to create that. I will do one thing here. Image must be clickable. So see here, TD ID is okay, camera is okay, rover is okay. Photo, we will do like this. I will delete this. For photo, what we do is td photo dot inner HTML. In that, you can put a backtick. In backtick, directly you can create image. This image source will be what? Dynamic. It will be what? Item dot img underscore sr. Width is equal to 100. Height also equal to 100. and I want that clickable. Now you can see this also works. Now we little bit reduced that logic load, and that is also working fine. It is working fine. You have to wait depending on your connection speeds all, because many times you click and you will say that it's not working immediate. But APIs, they sometimes respond slow. They have to come from another server. We can put one more loading screen that later we will learn. If you can put loading screen, it will wait until data is loaded. And it will show on screen, loading, please wait. That is good. Next level, we can do that. Here, now what we do, we can make this image in an anchor. We can make that image in an anchor. This anchor href is also same. What is it? Image underscore src, same path. And here we give target is equal to underscore blank. You know it. Then what happens here is this image, all these load, all these images are now clickable. It is taking time or have some problem. Inspect here. Here we have some problem, I think. Let's check. Console. Images are seen not defined. Where it is? Image. Yes, sorry. Item dot images are seen. Right. Okay, fine. Now let's click on this load. Now it is accessing that and displaying. Now this is clickable now. Now I click on that photo, then it opens in a separate window like this. It loads that separate in window. That means that opens the image and displays. This is officially from NASA people. That means we can get their original photos and we can display them. And these are all, you click on it and it opens in a new window. Right? This is basically one simple concept of working with API. So here we made little change. Inside photo, inner HTML, we are designing directly a link with image. Now, if you know this technique, I will copy that here again. We'll copy this technique again. Example, paste. Now, here the point is, I don't want like table. I want like cards, like bootstrap cards. I want these photos. Then how? Let's remove this logic in the for, because up to for same. In the for we will remove. Okay, this is what we removed. Yeah. Now we are fetching data. Response is JSON. We are collecting the data. Now not table. We will put here a simple div. Class dflex. We have flex wrap. Into this, we need to add a card. Card means what is the element type for card? Which element you have to create in HTML for card? Card means which element? Div. Right? So what we have to do here, we have to create a div, right? We need to create a div. Where I will give simply like div is equal to document dot create element, which one? Div. How this div will become a card? By applying bootstrap class. So div dot class name. Class name is equal to, what is that class name? Card. M2, margin 2, P2, padding 2 for card. We are giving that. Okay. Now inside this div means inside that card. So div dot inner HTML. Inside that card, we will create a binding expression, means backtick. Okay, inside the card, we have to design card header, body, footer, and everything. I will put an image. The image source is expression. It comes from item dot image src. So height I given as height is equal to some 150, and class is equal to card image top. That is what image. After that, we will create another div, and this div will be, so class is equal to card header. In card header, we will just put a heading and we will print ID. How do we print ID? Item dot ID. After that, we will create another div. And for this class, we have class is equal to card body. In the card body, I will create a data list. In this data list, I am creating a data term, and data term is, we have camera name, and data definition. Here we will print the camera name, item dot camera dot full underscore name. Another is rover name. And data definition, we have again item dot rover dot name. It will get the rover name. That is done. Now I need to, div is ready, means card is ready. I need to add this card into this container. Then I will put here ID as photos container. Okay. Into that we want to add. So what we have to do? We have to write document dot get element by ID. What is it? Photos container dot append child. Which one? Div. Div is that card. And you can also give extra. Every card can have some style also. That means you can give div dot style is equal to style dot width. I will give width is equal to how much? 200 pixels. You can apply styles, you can apply class. Now you can see here, I click on that button and all that must display in a card style. That means those photos are displayed in a card style here. Again, those cards also can be clickable. Now you see hundreds of cards. So that is why we learned Bootstrap. Means real-time data comes in a JSON file. Just we write a logic, it will generate everything for that. For example, anywhere, suppose you are watching Amazon. This is Amazon. In this Amazon, you see products. This is all actually JSON. Whatever you are seeing on screen, it is the result of JSON. The mobile name, photo, its offers, its price, everything is in JSON. They return the logic and presenting it like this. That means whatever data you see, that is in a JSON form. You see, all this is in JSON only. What do you think? They type this data in web page? No, they don't type this in web page. They will have empty containers. In that data they will keep, because these will be changing regularly. That means next, after few days, this will not be there. After few days, price will be changing. What they will do? They will just make change in the database. It will affect everywhere. So everything that you watch on screen is the result of JSON. Is the result of JSON. That is why you need to be perfect in dealing with that. And the way of presentation, people will ask in different ways. So we need to use all type of presentations, right? This is just one API like NASA. I will copy this example cards presentation. This is how you see. There is another website called fakestoreapi.com. Another website called fakestoreapi.com. In that, they will give you a lot of categories and all. Observe here. This is another fakestoreapi.com. In this fakestoreapi.com, you can see they are giving some APIs. Actually, it is free data given for practicing shopping sites, ERP. Like you see, they given some methods here. And see, they give fetch method only. That is what we are doing for fetching the data. Right. So I collect here, you see here. See, there are all requests like this. Products. And I click on this. Actually, this is the API URL. And see, they are returning an array. In that, what we have? ID, title, price, what else? Category, image, description, rating, so much is there. That means rating have again rate and count. This is one product related detail. One product related detail, so many. Now, if you have to present this same, let's see one simple point here. I will create here a new shopping.html. Now in this, we will print that here. So let's add here, okay. And a link, relation style sheet. href is node modules, bootstrap, dist css, bootstrapper.css. And here we will put class container fluid. And here we have a div, ID as catalog. And the class is equal to dflex. We have flex, wrap, and margin top some 2 or 3. Now I want to load the data on body load. On load, body load. Body load, we will write the function here, script. The function is body load. On body load, we will fetch from http://fakestoreapi.com/products. That's what it is returning, products. Then, and here we will put res function, and the function gets a response, and we have to return, what is it? Response.json. I already told you these words our wish, you can give it. Next what? Then We have a function, and here it is returning all the products. I will give here as what products. We will write a for var item of what products. Now for every product, we will create a div document dot create element div. So div dot class name is equal to card margin 2 padding 2, and the div dot style dot width is equal to 200 pixel. Now in the div dot inner HTML, we have to display some image. So img, so src is equal to, it will come from item dot image, because there they have image, and height I will give as 150 60, and class as card image top. Okay, below that we will put a div, and in this div we will put class is equal to card header, and the style here we given height as some 200 or 180 pixel, and in this we will put a paragraph. In the paragraph we will print item dot title, means the detail about the product, and we will put div, and in this div we are creating what? Class card body, class as card body. Here we want to print price data list. So, and we have data term is price. Data definition, how to get it? We have to get item dot price. Another one, rating. Rating, I will just give data term, data definition. So it is item dot rating dot rate, and how many people rated? Item dot rating dot count. Like this we define. Now this must be added into document dot get element by ID. What is it? Catalog. ID is catalog. Catalog dot append child. Which one? Div. And let's run this and see. On body load, it have to get all the products. These are all the products related data. That is shopping related, some ready-made data. Now what they ask us is, they will just provide this data and they will say that design the screen with all the products, filtering, sorting, searching, everything should work. That means what you have to do, left side or right side, put a search box, and when user types any product name, that photo should come here. They will say put a drop down. When user selects electronics, only electronics should come. Right? They will say that put a price sorting button. When user clicks the button, all products must display according to order of price. And they will give only plain data. They will give only one data. On that, they will ask 100 queries. They will say that design all these queries on this data and show us. That is what a perfect JavaScript learner can do and have to do. Right? This is what you will be given for test every interview. If you can't do this, don't attempt interviews. You can't do anything. right? This is what you have to do. Now how to apply filters, searching, sorting on this. For that we need to learn a lot of logic that we'll see in next session. This is enough, right? You need to practice lot of things you have seen. You have to design. It's not easy for first time, right? Once you practice, then you will get perfection. Okay, you practice this. In next session we are going to design a shopping site like screen with searching, filtering have to work, right? If user selects men's clothing, only men's clothing should come. We need to set up such filters that we will do in the next session. Okay, our next session will be on Tuesday again. So we have holiday for Diwali, right? A very happy Diwali to all. And again, our next session will be on Tuesday. Okay, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, off. Okay, right. Yeah.